Hi, I'm Aubrey, and I play Isobel.
Hi, I'm Legacy, and I'll be playing Rosanna.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I'll be playing Arthur.
Hi, I'm Termite, and I'll be playing Piper.
And I'm Bloodied Porcelain. I'll be your storyteller for the evening. Most people can go their entire lives thinking that they're the apex predator of the planet. For those who have the scales fall from their eyes, the awakening is often as brutal as it is short. While most do everything they can to return to a sense of normalcy, bow to new masters, or seek refuge in finality, others take another route. When you don't buckle under, when you don't bend the knee, when you don't hide your knowledge, you can commit yourself to something far more isolating, to going on, to persevering in a world of madmen.
Maybe that means giving up everything and everyone you hold dear.
Maybe that means making compromises you never thought you would.
Maybe that means drawing innocent eyes past the veil of lies that keeps people sane.
Maybe it just means living with the choices you made.
Night, let's continue our story about the madmen. Good evening, players.
Hello?
During our last episode, you all had a couple of personal revelations, maybe some moments of clarity for members of the cell, where they got glimpses into lives they could be leading. You set out as a group with allies in tow to confront Vincent, the kindred of the Linnaeus Society. Isobel confronted him about the blood curse placed on her and found out that, unfortunately, it's not as simple as just breaking it. The best he could do was adapt it. Allow it to be less of a constant pain and more something Isobel can learn to hone and use until she is able to confront her trauma and deal with it more directly. In the end, a deal was struck. Vincent and his people left. Your fellow hunters, Jesse and Briggs, went to go get dinner, which Rosanna paid for. While Arthur, Isobel, and Piper piled into the RV, and Arthur began to drive it back towards the compound. On the way there, Isobel and Piper have some time to talk between themselves.
Are you good?
I think I'm probably about as good as I could be. Better than the last few days.
Yeah, I took a look. It looks better isn't quite the right word. Less bad.
Yeah, it's the ghosts are something I'm gonna have to get used to, but it's nice not seeing everyone as walking corpses anymore.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting.
Yeah, especially it's automobile accidents. I don't know if you've ever seen what those do to people.
I've seen a lot of things. Those are never pretty.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned it was tied to your experiences.
Yeah.
People you'd seen. Or similar.
Parents died in a car crash. Yeah, I was the only one to walk away. And walking was a strong word.
Even making it out broken is better than not making it out.
Yeah, but for a while I couldn't drive. It took me a good 4 years before I could get behind a wheel without a panic attack.
Yeah.
And the ones that always affected me the most on my table were the ones from the accidents. I guess it makes sense that that's what I see.
Yeah. I can't even imagine what I would have seen. I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of ways in which people kill each other.
Yeah. At least when supernaturals do it, it's usually quick. Usually.
Heard that, if you're drained, it's actually, at least partially, is a pleasurable experience. Never experienced it myself.
It makes sense. What better way to keep very pacified than by making them not want to leave?
Yeah. I dealt with a lot of people that seemed to be almost addicted to it in my time working with Allison.
Yeah. I've never been that close to... I've never been that close to the ground to see it, but...
Face down a handful.
Yeah, but do you mind if I ask your help for something?
Sure. I mean, we got some time. What do you need help with?
It's not a right now kind of thing. It's a in the future when we're less worried about sending a god back home, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a kindred after. I'm not sure if he's still after me, but he was, at least for a while.
You know his name? I can see if he's in a database somewhere.
All I ever got was a face. And
Database works too.
that was years ago. But he's the reason I'm in all of this now. I thought he was just some corrupt politician, but no. Why would it be that simple?
That simple.
And let's just say I have a very similar experience with vampires as you do with car crashes.
I mean, can see if he's in any database anywhere. Keep an eye out. I mean, your goal is to what?
Torch the motherfucker?
Well, if he is as bad as you say, which probably is, I have no reason to doubt you.
Even if he's not, it's personal at this point.
That's fair. I mean, well, once we're done sending God of Mischief back to his home, we can look into that. I have
Thank you.
resources. And we may be getting a kickback for dealing with Vincent.
Really?
Yeah.
Call me paranoid. You haven't mentioned my name at all to them, have you?
I haven't mentioned anyone's name.
Okay.
You're my strange unemployed friends.
Well. Yeah. Yeah. I guess most people view freelancing as unemployment. But
I never said Allison was wrong.
no, she's not. And even if I did have an actual income, it wouldn't be legal. But I suppose the government wants me to stop trying to rob them.
I think it's
Which
the
I'm not
government's fault.
I'm not gonna do, but I'll do it less, I suppose.
I'm not looking. I won't see anything. Do probably eventually have to, well, return to work at some point. Have a lot of vacation built up, and can kind of go on sabbatical for a bit.
Yeah, once we're done here, I need to go back to California, at least for a bit.
And I don't know if I'll go back to California. There's a job there, but there's an apartment filled with a lot of boxes. But not actual life back there.
Yeah, I don't have much of an established life, but there is somebody waiting for me. So,
Yeah,
not going back isn't an option.
I understand. For a long time I thought there was somebody, but I decided not to bring them into that life, and keeping secrets, especially like that for a long period of time, kind of eats away at you.
It's worse when somebody tries to use your own secrets against you.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that you can make it work. You can find that happiness that kind of evades the most of us.
I hope so.
But, I guess when we get back, we'll all have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Say, looking over to where Arthur is driving.
I know we're not supposed to get terribly close on account of the whole.
It's on a magic.
Yeah. But no, that the thought is there. If I felt safe, I would hug you right now. But
Especially, I don't know how this thing that's changed would react to that.
I can't imagine well.
No, I can't imagine it'll react well either.
Now I'm curious. If it's magic.
Are we testing the limits?
Piper is very tempted.
Well, you gonna do the thing?
Piper is not going to force it, but she will offer.
And, better understanding about this, because apparently it won't go away until I have therapy. And,
No, we don't have time for therapy.
And, we move around a lot. It's hard to...
We barely live long enough to see therapy in this line of work.
That's so very fair.
So are we testing it or not?
I think so.
Okay. Piper. Roll me unspent willpower, please.
Okay, I should open my sheet.
Isobel. Roll me. Hold on, and I'll tell you what you can roll me as soon as I have your sheet open, because for some reason my Adobe crashed. What else is new? Roll me Resolve plus awareness.
No successes.
All right. So effectively what ends up happening is Piper leans over and wraps her arms around Isobel, and Isobel, you feel the world get smaller. It's not something that you can easily explain, but it's like your perception and awareness of just everything around you shrinks dramatically. And the sense, because there's no ghosts around you right this second because you're on the road, but you can just tell, like, instinctively that if you were to get out and go looking for ghosts, as long as Piper continued to hold on to you, at least for right now, you wouldn't be able to see anything. You also, as she holds you, feel almost like a pressure is building up inside of you.
Do I also see possibly how Piper will die?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because she is
There.
dampening what's going on with you right now. But as I said, you do feel like there is like a pressure building up inside of you the longer she holds on. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world. It's not painful, but doesn't feel good.
Eventually, after like however long seems proper, kind of like pull back.
The second you pull back, that awareness comes flooding back in. And it's almost enough to kind of like knock you backwards a little bit, like, because your senses come rushing back in. You get almost vertigo.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So we don't touch. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, quick hugs I think will be okay, but definitely prolonged contact, not a good idea. Oh my god, I have the worst head rush right now.
That's probably a question I want the answer to, but what did you see?
Not a lot, actually. You were kind of stopping whatever was usually happens from happening. But it kind of felt like there was like that feeling, when you're driving up a mountain and then there's like that pressure building. And then like as soon as you let go, it kind of burst. And everything came rushing back, and I kind of got a bit of a head rush. A little dizzy.
Interesting. That's... Good to know.
if this was a thing we could publish a paper on, I'm sure it would be incredibly interesting.
Unfortunately, everybody would think we're insane and people won't want to kill me, so...
That's fair. Where are all the magical academics at?
I think we have
The
the phone
Linnaeus
number.
Society.
Oh, that reminds me. Does Piper's drone see anything fun? The little one that she sent after Vincent.
For the moment, no. It's just driving.
Okay.
The drone can't really get you clear pictures of much of anything. It's clamped to the underside of an SUV, so all you see is tires and road. So, okay. Anything else you two want to discuss in the scene, or shall we move on?
I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of anything else. I think we can move on.
Okay. It takes a bit to get back to the compound. But eventually, you are able to pull in, and not long after you guys pull in and kind of start to get things set up, Quiet and Rosanna rumble up on his chopper. And he parks next to the RV.
So as soon as we stop the RV, I think that's when Arthur would start talking. But if you want to wait for Rosanna to be there, then we can wait.
Yes, I would like the scene to include the whole cell.
Sounds good.
But they're arriving basically at the same time you do. You guys are just basically getting because you have one of those RVs with the room that kind of extends out to the side. There's a little bit of setup every time you park. So in the couple of minutes it takes to go through that process is when Rosanna and Quiet pull in.
Well, the truck only broke down 5 times on our way home, so that wasn't a...
Do I need to...
Can you hack some sort of database and just get him a new truck?
Listen. That man is impossible, right? I tried everything. I mean, he scuffed up my glasses, trying to it was a whole thing. I snuck him some money to at least get it fixed. He won't accept a new truck, even if we force him to take it.
If he is still around by the time we're done with all of this business, whenever we get it done, I will fix it for him.
Yeah, well, I managed to kind of get in there with my hands, and they're all greasy and oily, and but I managed to at least get the bare basics of it. I managed to at least get the bare basics of it fixed up for the time being. 2 hours of ABBA. That was an interesting one. The CD kept getting stuck at Honey Honey. I think I now have that song memorized in the back of my mind, and I'm pretty sure I'll be seeing it in my nightmares. And yes, I know I said seeing it in my nightmares.
Yeah, that 2 hours of ABBA? 2 hours of just Honey Honey?
Honey.
I think honestly, an hour of ABBA is more than I need.
Listen,
well, sober?
I love...
Probably.
Oh, I'm not... at one point, I think I started drinking margaritas like it was nobody's business. I'm very surprised that I'm as coherent as I am. Then again,
so you're not sober. Got it.
I mean, I'm sober enough. This is why I wasn't driving.
Okay.
I'm fine. Jesse and Briggs were very, very nice and polite and friendly. Their truck just breaks down all the time. He wasn't, but I snuck him money, so.
Can everybody make me wits and awareness roll, please.
One success.
4 success.
4.
2.
It's okay. Doesn't take much. Everybody hears somebody outside of the RV whistling "Honey, Honey" before the chopper starts back up and pulls away.
Yeah, he was giving me shit the entire bike ride home.
I can't say I'm surprised.
How was the ride here? Did y'all
Isobel and I are going to be keeping a respectable distance. Turns out if I touch her, then things get odd.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to explain to me why we let a predator go?
Has made a deal. I mean, in the end, what would have fighting gotten us?
Well,
Hey.
let's consider the fact that this person goes out and eats people. So, isolating it, killing it, that kind of thing would stop the next victim from dying.
You do realize that if we had killed Vincent, they would know that the cult was connected to it, and so whoever the Linnaeus Society sent after that is probably much worse than Vincent. So I will kind of take someone who maybe trying not to be so much of a monster, continuing to move around, because Vincent could have just, as soon as he saw it and saw us and saw that it was a trap, that we had it was not a meeting from the speaker, could have just told his people to start shooting.
Yeah, from what he saw, he had a lot of you outnumbered. The fact that he didn't immediately start shooting is a far cry from most kindred.
Because, this meeting was set up by the speaker. They know who requested the meeting, and if we killed the people, that would come back on you, because aren't you going to be the new speaker? And your wife's here,
So, if I'm understanding correctly, instead of doing what we planned with the people we planned, we made a deal to not only let it go, but also help cover it up so that the only roadblock that stops it from being able to continue doing its work doesn't know it exists anymore. Is that what happened?
Arthur, please explain to me what the difference between kindred feeding on humans and humans feeding on animals like we do is.
Well, the humans are people, right? With consciousness and lives and families, long strings of emotional connections, right? You suggesting that people are no different than animals.
I've seen plenty of people who act like animals. I've seen plenty of people that act worse than Vincent did.
I have 2.
So have I.
Hell, our own kind would turn on us. Or
Keep in
or
mind-
did you forget what I now have to deal with?
Yeah,
too?
keep in mind that the very group that is supposedly the last roadblock stopping Vincent from going off and killing people is also the same group that bombed an entire fucking city to go after, what, a handful of vampires? A couple dozen at most.
Look, I want to believe that not all kindred or monsters, blanks, kindred, whatever we call them, are monsters. Look, a lot of them are. I've seen what they do. I've seen bodies on my table that look like they were torn apart. Just something ripped their throat out with its teeth. I want to believe that not all of them are like that, like all people are. As there's someone that is now a kindred that I used to care about, and I want to believe that she can't be like that. Because she's like that because of me. I fucked up. I was supposed to pick her up from her art show. I ran late. She got in a car with a stranger for some reason, like kindred reason. You know, they can do the things with your mind, and then she was missing for a whole fucking year. Showed up 5 states away. And I helped her mother put a stake through her heart. And now she sits in a lab somewhere, just not alive, not dead. And I hope that she's a good person.
You aren't wrong, Arthur. There are a lot of things out there that are bad and mean to cause harm. There are a lot of supernatural out there who want to see our kind dead. Hell, we literally just met a mage how many days ago that actively hunts our kind. There are people out there in this world that want to do a lot of bad things to a lot of innocent people. But when we are put up in a line where we can go off and kill, sure, we can kill every bad thing, right? We can kill every supernatural. We can rid the world of every thing that's not normal.
Isn't that kind of why we got a body dumped on our doorstep? Isn't that what that person was doing?
They let themselves go. They were barely human anymore. And it doesn't take being not human to be inhuman.
If we start fighting every bad thing in this world, at what point do we stop being supernatural hunters? And at what point do we start being killers?
I just can't get over the fact that we had one, and we had men, we had the advantage, and maybe Vincent doesn't kill tonight or tomorrow, but we all know that one day he's going to lose control, and when that next victim falls to his hands, that'll be on us for not stopping him when we had the chance.
So we should kill him just because of some potential victim, God only knows how far down the road?
Yes, because I can't live with that on my conscience, knowing that I had the chance to save that victim.
Could you live with the Linnaeus Society killing everybody that lives here at this compound?
You've already said they're dangerous, and they have Victoria's body for some reason that we need to figure out more, and I'd rather not burn that bridge until we figure out exactly what they're trying to do.
Because if we killed Vincent and the Linnaeus Society came after the compound, then the blood of hundreds would be on us. I don't do collateral damage.
Sometimes it's one small sacrifice to save more people. That doesn't necessarily mean that if we come across him again at some point, which I actually believe is more likely than not.
I think we will.
Somewhere down the line when we know that they are safe, they being your people, at least as safe as they can be, and we know that this guy's doing actual serious damage, then by all means, I'm fine with getting rid of him.
We don't get to kill things just because they're not human. We kill things because they hurt people. And what Vincent did wasn't hurting anyone.
No? He didn't curse Isobel.
Wasn't meant for me. Wasn't meant for any of us. Because the werewolves. Was meant for werewolves.
And any random person who happened to come across that location.
Possibly, yeah, but we were in a abandoned restaurant that and it was probably only going to be, if I remember correctly, the curse was already fading after we left. After a few days, it would be completely gone. Vincent probably thought the werewolves were probably going to get there before we did.
We don't know. That's a part of the risk of doing what we do, is we don't know. Right? He could be telling the truth. I'm sure. He could be completely and totally bullshitting us. He could have been lying out of his teeth and none of us caught on. Sure. But that's the other part of this job, is we need to take those risks and take them with calculation.
We don't have the protection of the government on our side. We can't just blow things up and get away with it. All for the greater good.
And we don't have the protection of an established religion on our side. We can't just cause harm to people and say that we're doing it in the righteous name of God. Not to mention, you said that we had numbers. We don't know if there were more of his people in hiding.
Yeah,
we don't know what the three we saw were capable of.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there had been 4 kindred, I don't know how many of, like, I think we could have taken down Vincent, and if all the rest of them had been ghouls, maybe. But
it wouldn't have been easy.
It wouldn't have been easy, and one of us might have died. One of the MC might have died. One of Jesse or...
I was prepared to not walk out of there alive.
I see. So when we are afraid that we might die, we don't face the monsters.
No, when we're afraid that we'll put innocents at risk, we don't fight them.
Arthur, can you answer me this question? Would you have fought them if Katy Lynn was there?
To protect her? Yes.
And what if something had happened to her and you weren't able to protect her? If you even had a slight suspicion that that might be the case. And I want you to answer this honestly. person to person, not hunter to hunter.
So you want to invoke Katy Lynn into this discussion?
No, I don't want to invoke Katy Lynn into this discussion. I'm just trying to make you see our point. We have people who could have died without any knowledge as to the cause that they were dying for.
But they were there to help us. They are soldiers.
They agreed to something that they didn't know what they were getting into.
Soldiers seems like a bit much. We're not doing a holy war here.
Are we not?
I think you
No.
are, but I'm certainly not.
We're here to help innocent people. At least I am.
And look, there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of not very innocent people out there. I would like to think that there are some kindred who just want to live. And yeah, there's probably very easy ways that they can not kill people. We have blood banks. We have, not sure if they exist, but there are a lot of stories on vampires feeding on animals. And I mean, in nature itself, there's vampire bats. It's a weird, fucked up ecosystem. We're not the apex predator that we think we are. There's a predator that is above us. And I think that werewolves are above kindred, so, they have their own predator.
There's no easy way to live this life. But there are people, as has been said, there are people that live that are far worse than kindred. And at least it seemed like Vincent was trying to help. He willingly helped Isobel.
Look, I don't see corpses everywhere anymore, so it's a start.
Sure. By manipulating your blood with yet more magic.
Yes.
What's so bad about magic?
I think I'm beginning to understand what's happening here. I'm not sure all of you are truly wanting to fight these things, to deal with these things, to save people, but make deals with them and let them live normal lives while they hunt and kill and steal souls from people's bodies. And I'm just not sure why you all came to this decision after everything you've seen.
We're 4 people, Arthur.
Yeah.
We can't spend our time focusing on the ones that are trying to help, trying to do good. And there are ones that are out there actively killing people.
The mage we met yesterday, she's helping us send Loki away.
Vampires don't kill people if they don't have to. Unless they're sick and twisted, which some of them are.
In which case, we will deal with those.
Those ones we deal with. It's the same reason that most parasites don't kill their hosts.
Yeah. Look,
Because oftentimes the parasite benefits, the host doesn't notice.
and look, the person that I know who got turned, she's a 20-year-old art student. She's 5 feet tall. She weighs nothing. And yeah, lives on blood now. I can only hope that she is the same person that I knew. I didn't really get a chance to talk with her. But I can only hope that it's the person that I spent a lot of time around. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I haven't had a chance to figure that part out yet. And there is if Vincent does next time we meet Vincent, maybe on completely different terms. May it be the time that we actually throw down and decide who lives, who dies, all of that. But it wasn't today.
It wasn't today. There was too much on the line today.
Because you pick your battles. And I know you're really fucking angry and deciding to pick all of them right now, but we need to be smarter than that. Because if we are not smart, we're fucking dead.
Well, I'm so glad that your plans are all working out to make everyone live happy lives, whether they be monsters or not.
They're not.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go wreck mine. And Arthur will storm out of the RV.
Where is Arthur headed?
Well, right now he's just headed out of the RV. He's going to head toward Katy Lynn's house is where he's headed.
You're not the only one with people in the line.
Okay. Arthur slams the door open and leaves. Arthur, on your way out, you pass by Quiet and Tav and Patty, who are just sort of hanging out nearby, waiting because they were supposed to be having a conversation and some explanations. But they don't stop you. They just watch you go.
So if they're still there, then Arthur is going to talk to them.
It's less that they're still there and more that they have congregated and are waiting.
All right. Then as he walks out of the RV and sees them, he just looks at them and he goes, "You want to know what's going on? Monsters are real. They're real. And I'm not talking about people who do monstrous things. I mean real, actual monsters that kill people and feed off of them and steal their souls from their bodies. We're talking real evil in the world. That's what we're dealing with. And what you saw today, that was real magic. And if you want to talk more about it, sure. I don't have time right now. Maybe they'll explain it to you better." And then he'll start walking away.
Okay.
Did we hear that?
Oh, you absolutely heard every word of that.
They're not monsters. Just because they're not human doesn't mean they're monsters.
I'm so done with him.
Do you want some tea?
Can you put whiskey in the tea?
I can just get you some whiskey.
I'll take whiskey.
Hey, vodka. Tav says as the boys climb up into the RV, looking a little confused.
Vodka is actually even better.
Patty goes, "I have whiskey."
I'll take both, honestly, at this point.
And they each put a flask down on the counter. Quiet kind of immediately goes over to Rosanna and just sort of like folds her up in his arms. She almost kind of disappears inside of like his jacket.
Piper is going to make tea, at least for herself.
I will take tea. Thank you. Tav is making himself coffee. Mm. And by himself, I think Patty and himself. And anybody who wants it is going to have an Irish and or Russian coffee.
She'll definitely take the Irish coffee.
I'll be right back. I have to go do something.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go pop into the bathroom or something real quick, and come back a bit later smelling like cherry blossoms.
Okay. So there are several long, quiet minutes where tea brews and coffee brews, or tea steeps and coffee brews. Rosanna gets really warm, tight hugs. And her hair played with. And eventually, Rosanna quiet reaches into the pocket of your jacket and pulls out one of your candies. Unwraps it and, offers it up to your lips.
Thank you. Thank you. And she'll take the candy and she'll go to put it in her mouth, and it'll just kind of rest on the on the tip of her lip for a second before she pulls it away and just wraps it up in a paper towel and just puts it down.
Hey, look at me. I don't give a shit how he's feeling or what he said, but he doesn't get to take your sunshine away from you. Or deprive you of it when you need it. Which you clearly do. You want me to go punch him in the nose?
No.
Okay.
He's
I will.
He's hurting right now. And he probably needs the sunshine more than I do. He's had a rough couple months.
Yeah, there's need and then there's deserve, and I didn't hear everything that he said, but I've got pretty fucking good hearing, and he was kind of a dick to you, so I don't really care.
Isobel raises the cup of coffee. Doesn't say anything, just raises the coffee.
So, I'm gonna pick that up, and I'm gonna put it back in your mouth. And I'm not going to care about how dirty that sounded. Tav and Patty are elbowing each other and looking very amused by this whole turn of events.
Is it just like the sausage that I fed you earlier today?
That made it sound so much worse, Rosanna.
Something like that.
And she'll open her mouth.
He will feed you the candy again. All right. So, I guess we got the Cliff's Notes from the preacher.
Exactly how I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's ripping off the Band-Aid.
Yeah. Well, which one of us wants to start talking?
The guy we went to meet. To start, the reason we asked you to come along was because we were prepared to kill him. That's why we set that up.
Kind of guessed that when we were asked to bring the guns.
Yeah. Thankfully, it didn't come with that. As much as part of me wishes it would have. But he wasn't human. You saw that weird ritualistic usage of the knife and the blood.
Yeah.
there are a lot of otherworldly things in this world, and some of them want to cause destruction and chaos.
And some of them just want to live.
Yeah, like any of us do. All of us want to live. We want to have lives, and they have slightly different circumstances. Like, person we met tonight, you would call a vampire. They drink blood to survive. He inadvertently wasn't his target, but several days ago, kind of placed a curse on me. I wasn't his target. I just happened to get in the way. And part of what we were doing was seeing if he could remove the curse. That was... We didn't get a removal, but kind of a...
It was dampened.
Yeah. That... Whatever you saw, that ritual, that was what that was.
Okay. So... vampires and magic are real.
Yeah.
Werewolves
right.
are real.
Werewolves are real.
Yeah, but
Like of London, or
They're probably werewolves in London.
probably are werewolves in London. Yes.
I don't think it's anything like the movie. Or the song.
I don't think it's anything like Twilight either.
I fucking hope not.
Same.
okay.
Same.
Okay. So this is Patty, by the way. Patty is like, all right. So this isn't an accusation. I'm just genuinely a little confused. If vampires are real, and that guy was one, and you went there planning to kill him, why didn't we?
He has ties to somebody who is very, very, very important to me. She died because of a werewolf attack, and we had her body, and it went up and missing, and that man has ties to the people who are protecting that body. And
If we had killed him, then they would stop at nothing to put this place up in smoke.
And I mean, there's a lot of you, and we have a lot of guns, but we don't know exactly what they have, and it's not like they had Victoria's body with them. So
hang on. When you say this place, you mean the church?
Whole thing gone.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
how would any of what happened today get back to the church?
Because the speaker set up the meeting.
Okay.
And because Arthur is a member of the church. And
okay. All right. Well, thanks for not making our jobs harder, I guess. And it's said sincerely, but also like they're just sort of trying to soak in the information that they've been given. They don't sound mad. It's more of a, I am trying to parse this information because this is big. Okay. So how did the, you know what? No. I don't know that I want to know everything yet. I think I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole vampires and magic and werewolves are real. Is there anything else we should be aware of? You guys have brought up us helping you with a few things, so maybe making sure that we don't get surprised again would be good. What should we expect?
They exist.
Fae.
Like elves and fairies and
Like they're after me fucking Lucky Charms? That was Patty.
Trying to do a slight spit take with the coffee.
I mean, I'm sure there are some like that.
no,
but
their name aren't Isobel, so
Well, I mean,
does it count as being after it if we gives it willingly?
oh, she's still after it. Always. So, okay, fairies are real.
and they craft magic weapons.
Okay. Man, my grandmother's never gonna shut the fuck up once she finds out about this.
I would not tell your grandmother anything.
She already thinks fairies are real.
There's a reason that we did not tell you going into this.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the wisest decision since you wanted us to back you up in a fight.
I had hoped that it wasn't going to come to that.
But you were hoping for something to happen.
I was hoping what ended up happening was probably the best turn of events and what I was kind of hoping going in that.
Sure, but no matter which way you cut it, you were planning for it to turn out in a way that we were going to see something we probably shouldn't have seen. Not that, listen, here's the thing. I don't care, right? I don't care that you asked for our help. I'm happy to give it. It's more the lack of forethought.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really should have. And it seems like Isobel doesn't say those words very often, so it's kind of like, this is how they sound, right? And in very much a way she means she is sorry, but it's like she doesn't say the words very often.
Right. It almost seems unnatural. Okay. All right. Monsters are real. Magic is real.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we fighting next? Or potentially fighting next?
We don't know.
That's the part we're still trying to figure out.
Hopefully nothing, but knowing our luck, something's gonna show up.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that we have to figure out ourselves. We have a ritual to do.
Yep.
Okay. A ritual? Like magic?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Without getting into too much detail, somebody in this room, I don't know who, but are able to call on pretty Irish elf women to help us do fun magic tricks. And we might need it for a little special project that you guys really don't need to get involved in.
You've already asked us for help, and now you're trying to tell us that we can't come. Seriously?
I mean,
That's
we may,
quiet, by the way.
we may actually need their help.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Fine. I don't want to do it without Arthur.
Do what?
Call on pretty elven women who happen to be Irish to help us with fun parlor tricks.
I don't think we can do it without Arthur.
It eats at me a lot. The last time I did the ritual.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. Through bloodline and generational trauma, I'm able to do very minor bits and tufts of magic here and there. I'm not a mage by any sense of the word. Unfortunately, I'm not even really a supernatural. I just use my paganism to my advantage. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go see if I can if I can hound him down.
I think maybe you should give him some space.
Yeah, I think we should.
Because he looked ready to haul off and hit one of us, and that would have ended poorly for him. And you don't want to know what I will do if he were to haul off and hit you.
Yeah, I think it's better to give him the night to cool off. For a couple hours at least.
He'll mosey on back when he's ready. And on that note, we're going to transition over to a certain married couple. Arthur, you kind of go stomping around for a little while, just sort of trying to clear your head and get ready for the conversation you know is coming. But eventually, no matter kind of how many circles you walk in and how many places you go in an attempt to just calm yourself, you end up right back in front of Katy Lynn's house. Maybe you don't know this place that well, and so you just keep taking like the same 4 roads you've been on. Or maybe this place is designed with this house at the center, but you keep ending up in front of the front steps.
Like, eventually Arthur will walk into the house and inadvertently slam the door. Like, he's not meaning to. It's like he's not even thinking about it, but he accidentally closes the door too hard and looks for the nearest chair to sit in, wherever that happens to be.
Katy Lynn, the pictures that you just hung on the wall earlier today shake as the door slams.
Liam? Or...
No. No,
Arthur?
it's not him. Hey.
I'll follow his voice to the front room. You're back.
Yeah.
And you're mad.
I am.
Is this another secret thing that you can't tell me about, Mad, or is this something else?
This is... I am... Right now, I'm not sure that my friends really know what is going on or what they should do. And I'm not sure that they're really wanting to continue doing what they're doing. And they know now what they're doing, and they still seem to think that they can do it differently. And I just can't understand their thoughts on it all.
Arthur, I want to be on your side. I really do. But you're doing this weird a mission game, and I want to be here and help you. And you have just given me a lot of words that mean absolutely nothing. Do you want something to drink before you start venting?
I probably should drink something because I don't remember the last time I drank anything.
Then we'll get you water first. And I'll run to the kitchen and grab just a bottle of water first. Once you've rehydrated, we'll talk about something else. Do you want to start that conversation?
Arthur will look around the room and just see everything that's being set up here. And just start shaking his head before saying, I don't know how to tell you what's going on without taking all of this away. Everything here seems like it's everything that you ever asked for. Last night, Julia let me know how good it is here for you, how much you're thriving here. And the only reason that I haven't said or told you what's happening is because the moment that I do, I'm afraid that none of this will be available to you anymore.
Is this a tax evasion thing?
Tax evasion? I wish it were as simple as tax evasion. I wish it was as simple as those days of tax evasion, and but it's not. It's not like that. You have no idea how funny that actually is.
Again, you're saying a lot of things that aren't words. They sound like words. They sound like sentences even.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it messy and then we'll clean it up in a second?
I think I'm saying it messy enough, right?
Oh yeah, this is bad. I've seen bad, but this is bad. And you're usually pretty... I can't lie to you. I've seen you do well at talking. This is not one of those times.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the best way to explain everything is just to start at the beginning. When I left, I did so out of fear and confusion, honestly, and probably a lot more selfish self-preservation than I ever admitted to myself. But But everything I've done since then has been dedicated to fixing my mistakes and carving a way for you to be safe and secure. But now I realize that you might be safe and secure here. But I found out something that shook me. And the knowledge of that is dangerous for anyone who ever could find out this kind of thing. Because it changes lives and it makes, well, it ruins everything. And it ruined mine. And I'm trying to keep it from ruining yours.
Is that why you're driving around in an RV with a bunch of transient weirdos?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember Jillian or Zephyr. I'm sure you don't remember Zephyr. I barely remember Zephyr from before. But we had to leave because of what we found out and what we know. And we met up with a couple of others. Rosanna was one of them, and then there was Victoria. And because of what we know, Victoria is dead. Zephyr is also dead, and Jillian, she's dead too. And there's people hunting me. Not because not the IRS or the FBI or something. It's much worse than that, which is strange to say because the IRS is pretty bad. But these monsters that are chasing me are dangerous and can hurt everyone that I come near. They're the ones that killed Victoria. So you can see why I'm really reluctant to tell you what's going on.
Because you think that if you keep me separate from this life, I will be untouchable?
If they don't know that you exist or know about them, then they won't have any reason to try to find you and do to you what they did to Victoria. Which is not pretty. It was terrifying.
Well, not knowing the nature of what happened to Victoria, I'm going to use my imagination. And I want to respect that you think that this is how you can keep me safe. I also want to remind you that I don't know how to stay safe if the thing, and help you if the thing that is after you is a mystery to me.
It's very true.
Arthur, you tell me all the time that I am so smart and I am the smartest person you know. And And I feel like you aren't treating me like that. I want to help you. I married you and built a house for us, and there are so many empty frames waiting for pictures of us and hopefully our kids and maybe one day grandkids. And I can't have any of that if you're not here. Whatever this is that you're tangled up in, is this something that we can work around?
I guess I imagined that we could, but it's been explained to me that it's probably impossible. But
Why?
Because as long as I am alive, you are in danger. And as soon as there's no more speaker to protect you, then you're even worse off.
And where is the speaker going?
I don't actually know where he's going. But eventually there won't be a speaker here anymore.
I assume if he ascends, there'll be a new speaker, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that something would happen, yeah. Listen, I think you're right. I'm not really treating you the right way because you might be able to think of a way out of this that I can't imagine. And every problem I've had, you've always found a way out of it.
So do you want to stop playing Mad Libs with me?
I discovered that we're not alone in this world, and by we're, I mean human beings. That all of the demons and angels that we know about from the scriptures are real, and they're out there, and they walk sometimes in human form, sometimes in other forms. And they pretend to live normal lives, and they go out and do their monstrous things that they do. My friends want me to think some of them are good and just want to live normal lives, but you can't deny the fact that we find bodies and we find victims and we find the families of those victims. They're all real. And they some of them are incredibly evil, and they will eat whomever they come across. Sometimes they just toy with them. But they're all out there, and they're unfortunately in positions of power, leaders of organizations or politicians, sometimes even churches.
So when you left in a hurry a few months ago. Was that one of those situations?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and say that Liam and I have a different understanding of each other now.
I'm gonna leave the room for a second, and Arthur can hear me like digging around in the kitchen, and Katie comes back with 2 glasses and a bottle of whiskey.
Lovely. Probably not something you're supposed to have.
Absolutely not. Okay.
Katy Lynn's like, ask me how much I care.
This seems like a special occasion.
Oh, I didn't even know you had this.
One of the boys had it and didn't know where to stash it, and I said it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I'll probably have to replace it.
Yeah,
like I
that
said.
should be fine. I mean, I guess I know where to buy that stuff all the time now. Around here, I have actually been living nearby for a while.
Oh. Okay.
I have been trying to figure out how to understand this new compound for a little bit.
Okay.
Before you were coming here, before I knew you would be coming here, I didn't know that.
Okay. Excuse me while I'm processing this a little. So, I love you a lot. I have not stopped loving you. And you used to travel all the time. This is a lot. And I want to believe you because, to be quite honest, the IRS thing would have been more believable.
Yeah.
And yet you've chosen this as your explanation.
I really wish the IRS thing was true.
Okay. So, and Katie will pour them both a drink as she's figuring this out. On the chance that, not even on the chance, I'm going to accept this premise because I think it's not going to be productive not to. Did you leave me in California with something that could hurt me?
Yes. And I've hated every moment I've been away.
And was that thing the speaker?
Yes.
Okay. Arthur, I love you so much. Did it occur to you that might have been a bad idea to keeping me safe?
Every single day.
All right.
But I didn't know. So like I said, it was self-preservation. I didn't know how to save you then, or even protect you. I didn't know how he worked or how to stop him. And the only thing I could think of was that because I knew that he was dangerous, that the very first thing that he would do is remove me from the equation. And I thought that perhaps, like I said, if you didn't know, then you would at least be surrounded by the others and it would not be dangerous for you. But I needed to find out how to deal with this, how to protect you from it, how to stop him from just erasing me like he did the others. And Jillian and Zephyr thought that maybe we could find out if we weren't surrounded entirely by the world that he had created. Yeah, you have every right to be angry with me.
Arthur,
And I would understand if you were.
I'm not mad. I'm a little disappointed. We were I have wanted nothing more than to build this life and be with you, and I have not made that a secret. And your life seems to be taking a strange, perhaps self-inflicted turn. I am going to process some of this, and I'm very glad that you've let me into whatever a crisis situation you are having is. However, this does change some of my plans. Your friends and your friends, all of the RV people, they are also on board with this situation.
They understand who Liam is, and they also have their own experiences. It's how I know now what I know because of them. And it's the reason I thought I would be able to come back and try to protect you.
And Rosanna.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps her safe? And Isobel and Piper, what keeps all of them safe if I can't be?
one moment. Appears we may be having technical issues.
Speaker Pierce.
Listen, I couldn't help it.
I actually don't know what keeps any of us safe aside from being together and keeping an eye out for each other. But it was when we were apart that Victoria died and Zephyr died. So I guess all of us together is what keeps us safer. Because the things that we know how to do.
Where have you been the last few months?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. You are so smart. Yeah, you're right. I did this very wrong. And I shouldn't have left you. And I guess I'm just worried about the hypothetical because I feel like if I'd stayed, I would have been just another husk thrown out to be discarded.
Do one of these do one of these demon thingies have time travel powers?
Maybe. I've heard of stories of something like that might be maybe a possibility.
Okay, I walked into that one.
Yep.
My point being, I am currently alive, as far as I know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I wish you had more confidence in that, to be honest.
I mean, I've encountered some unalives, as it were, some ghosts, and you definitely feel and look like you're still alive, so that's good.
I think I walked into that one too. My point being, I don't think we can undo the months of Arthur that has happened.
Yeah.
So, what do we do now?
That's where I was hoping you could help me figure out.
While the conversation inside is happening, where Katy Lynn and Arthur are discussing their marital woes and supernatural influences on their life, the boys and Rosanna and Piper are hanging out in the RV, and Isobel has slipped off to make a quiet phone call.
Yeah, just head right outside. And pull up my phone and give that very familiar number a call.
It rings a few times before there's finally an answer. Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Hey. Good to see your weird unemployed friends haven't gotten you killed yet.
No,
They haven't, right? You're not
no.
like...
I'm not a ghost talking to you from the afterlife, I promise.
Well, ghost wasn't my concern, but, that's also good to know.
I am not that other thing either.
Good. How's Cursed Brain?
I got some answers. Essentially, long story short, if I move past my trauma, I should get rid of the curse.
Wait a minute. Did a vampire curse you with the need for therapy?
Yeah, I think so.
I have been trying to get you to go to a therapist for years. And it took a blank body to make it happen.
I'm well aware of that. But something about the curse is a little different now. It's changed a little bit. I no longer actually see corpses all the time. But as of that classic film from 1999, I see dead people.
You just said you don't see corpses.
Yeah, I see ghosts.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like
an
real
interesting point.
ghosts? Or like you're just imagining ghosts like you were imagining corpses?
There aren't people that they they are. It's not like I look at one of my friends and see them as a corpse. I see a ghost and there isn't a other part of it. I'm still figuring that whole part out. One of my weird unemployed friends kind of deals with this sometimes, so they're going to help me understand that.
Okay. All right. So
It is a thing that I will be able to control with time and may eventually just go away when therapy.
if you go to therapy,
I will go to therapy.
I don't know if I'm more mad that the curse isn't gone or that the curse is forcing you to do the thing I've been begging you to do for years.
Yeah,
Can't decide what I'm more bothered by. I mean, I'm glad that you're going to therapy. Therapy's always good, but also, bitch, you should have gone when I told you to go, and we wouldn't be in this situation.
I really should have, and I will 100% admit it. I should have years ago.
Yeah, it's okay.
But
I still love you, but I'm gonna give you shit about this for a while. You just need to prepare yourself for that.
Mm-hmm. And
wonder what you would have seen if. I'm sorry, I've got to stop. My academic brain is now thinking about things.
No, my academic brain was taking it in quite a few different directions as well.
Are you okay?
Physically, yes. It's dealt with. It's done.
Is he gone?
He won't be a problem anymore. No.
Okay.
I have another package for you that I'm going to send out in the morning.
All right. So I should update the files.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Maybe we can kick you guys some funding. Or toys, if you'd rather have toys.
I definitely think the gear would, the toys would come in handy. For sure.
Sure, I could make that happen. So, everybody made it out okay, other than him?
Yeah, we called in some backup from some other weird unemployed people that my friends knew. And
Jesus, they're multiplying. Okay.
They really are. There are a lot of them. And some of the people from the compound, some of the security was able to lend a hand as well.
Right. Would some of these security people be the reason why you were in such a good mood the other day?
Yeah, that's a good assumption.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, no, I've seen the files on the security people. I get it. It makes sense. I am Jack's total lack of surprise.
Yeah.
Get you something, girl.
I have.
All right. So, what's next? Are you coming home?
We have a couple of things to wrap up, and then I know I won't have a vacation forever, but I think coming home is somewhere 2 or 3 on the agenda. We have one of the last few things to wrap up. And I mean, there's a lot of other things that are question mark, but we don't have anywhere forward on them at the moment, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, try not to let your weird unemployed friends get you killed in the meantime.
Yeah.
Maybe one day they'll earn the right to have names.
Maybe one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I update our files.
Yeah.
With the information about Mr. Pendleton. Let me know if you need. Let me know what you need for toys.
Yeah. I will. I'll let you know. And
it doesn't have to all be incendiary. We've got healthy access to a number of non-explosive things that can still be very useful for people like you and your weird unemployed friends.
that is very true. I don't think the thing we have to do involves incendiaries, so may take you up on that for some very specific items.
Okay. You call me when you know what you need.
Yeah, I was during the whole thing I was thinking about her. Hope she's doing as well as she can.
Well, there haven't been any recent changes.
Yeah.
But that's probably a good thing.
No,
As long as she doesn't change, no news is good news.
Exactly. This is what I'm going to send you should be enough to prove that, you know, Vincent is dealt with, and we might be able to get some stuff to research off of. I believe he may have been the same, like, kind of blank she is.
Okay. I'll look into it.
Something.
Yeah. Thanks for thinking of us.
Yeah. I think about both of you quite a lot.
But then you have a reason to come home as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I'm headed home, though.
Yeah, you'd fucking better.
Yeah.
We have to pick you up from the airport. Like hell, I'm letting you take an Uber halfway across state.
That's fair. But, I know it's late. Even though it really doesn't mean that much to either of us, and...
I mean, it's not late here.
That's fair. You are 3 hours behind me.
Yeah, but it's late for you, and you were probably up early because your weird unemployed friends are really weird and up at normal hours.
Yeah, I didn't understand the first time I slept past noon.
Well, they'll get used to it, or you'll adapt.
I'm slowly adapting.
Just don't become one of the weird unemployed people, please.
I didn't plan on it.
I need you to be able to fit in when you come home.
I don't know if I ever fit in, but I'll do my best.
Nah, you come work with us. You'll be right at home with us, nerds in lab coats.
It's very tempting.
Okay. Go get some sleep.
Oh, well. Yeah, well. definitely get sleep.
Good. Love you. Be safe.
Love you too. I'll be safe. You be safe as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm always safe. Safer than you and your weird unemployed friends, apparently.
Very true, but we've done all right so far. But I'll let you know how things go.
Okay. Go cuddle yourself up between the two stress relief pills.
I'm probably gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right. Good night.
Night.
Okay. What is the next? Who would like a scene next? Because it feels like everybody and their mother wants to talk to somebody. Shall we have... Oh, go ahead, Piper.
It doesn't have to be a full scene, but Piper does have her daily, like, hey, I'm still alive, that she's got to send out. Also, more pictures of cats. She's going to request more pictures of cats.
That is very easily done. You request more pictures of cats and get a slew of pictures of kittens.
Perfect.
They are clearly taking over your apartment.
Are there still only 3 of them?
There are only 3 of them, but now the walls have those like cat like the cat stairs that you can mount to the wall so that they can like climb all over the place and get up into high places and things like that. There are toys from one end of the room to the other. The place is a mess. It looks like a cat kingdom.
The things I do for love.
There are videos of them chasing around one of those like wand toy things. They're tiny and they bounce when they run because they're so itty bitty and it's very cute. She's even got one where she put like goofy music in the background because they were just acting like doofuses.
Also gonna double check and make sure that message is not being sent because she's not dead.
I'm confused. What?
The message that she had sent, like set up.
Oh, yes. No,
make
yeah.
sure that's not going through.
I think we established at the end of last session that you had
but I just
canceled
wanted
that.
to double check. Like,
yeah, for sure. Done. Taken care of.
Cool.
Okay. We are gonna pivot back to Katy Lynn's house. Where we will find Katy Lynn and Arthur having a discussion and the speaker walking in the middle.
Good evening, both of you. Arthur, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, the meeting went as well as Isobel wanted it to go.
Interesting. All right. Did you tell her? I'm sorry, there's a tension in the room, and Katy Lynn, I feel I know your expression a little bit. You all right?
Shit.
Oh, so you're not all right.
It's been rough having Arthur away, and we are having a disagreement on the nature of that absence.
Yeah. It's hard to come back when everything is like this, and I haven't been part of it for a while for both of us.
Oh, I understand. I'd actually meant to have a word with you about that. Do you mind? following me out to the porch real quick? We'll just be a moment.
Arthur, or sorry.
Arthur, yes.
Sure. We'll be right back, Katy Lynn. I promise.
Step outside. I've been telling Katy Lynn quite a bit about my business here. I don't think I've ever seen her lie to me like that before. I'm an expert in lying. Nobody can do it to me.
Yeah, that would make sense. Being the, god of trickery and whatever all.
Say it louder. I don't know if anyone has... I don't think everyone knows. So.
That's true. I don't think everyone knows. So that's interesting. You can tell the truth.
What are you getting at?
Nothing. I'm sorry. It's been a rough day. And I was just trying to have a moment with my wife there.
Right. Your wife's a friend of mine, and seems like you told her. I didn't want to start talking about monsters in front of her if you hadn't actually told her. And knowing that she's lying doesn't mean that I know what she's not lying about. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, do you really want me to be in charge of this whole thing? Because if so, I think that there's maybe something that you and I need to talk about, and right now I think you're touching on one of those subjects. If I am to be the speaker, as it were, then I should be following all of the tenets that you have laid out, and honesty between a husband and wife is one of those tenets. Is that not the case?
This makes me extremely happy, Arthur. I'm not going to pretend. To see you do such a stark 180 it's perfect, honestly. I couldn't have asked for it. Because you have to find these things on your own. But it's good to see you back to your old confidence a little bit. I feel like you've been, tiptoeing. Now you're being honest. You're calling me on things. You're starting to sound like a leader. Can't say I hate it. So should we go inside and have the conversation about your new leadership position with your wife?
We hadn't quite got to that point yet, but I'm actually also.
You want to be honest with her?
That's true. But I was actually thinking that, do you honestly believe that a single person could lead this organization, this church, these people? Because I've begun to realize that if you are who you say you are, that you are in fact Loki, then no one could fill your shoes. No one person, anyway, could fill your shoes.
Again, it's incredibly satisfying to be right about somebody. Which you are. You are right. Are you suggesting multiple speakers, or simply that you delegate authority to several individuals?
I think that it's probably best if the speaker is not a role that is filled, because I think that, if you told me that you were the one keeping the werewolves away, right? And
Yes.
I think that we discovered the significant amount of resources that are moving around that are somewhat tied to you in that role. It makes sense to me that a group of individuals perhaps, like you're saying, delegating to a group would be better to run the day-to-day operations and thereby making it harder for one single person to, I don't know, be corrupted. We mortals are weak after all. Or to be the single point that is trying to keep the werewolves or whatever else at bay.
Arthur, once you're in charge, you're free to delegate to whoever you want. You could divide the cult's resources among every single member. I don't care. You want your whole team to get an equal share? Fine. You want Katy Lynn to run the place? Go for it. It's yours. Now I gotta go see how she's doing about all this new information, and
But yeah, let's go talk to her.
yeah. We head back inside. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure he was staying and had been honest with you.
Surprisingly so. And the glasses are gone. Yeah, no, he's surprisingly honest, actually. Everything okay?
He told you the monsters were real. There was danger out there.
Yeah, I told her the truth.
A little, and we're processing that. That is a new development.
Well, that makes things like this easier. And Loki's going to snap and wave his hand and just clean up the entire space. Like all the dishes do themselves, all the counters are wiped, all the surfaces are cleared, boxes are stacked neatly. In case you were having doubts.
Did you really have to do it like that?
I don't have to do much.
I hope that didn't run down a battery.
Parlor tricks.
Arthur,
Yes.
where are your friends?
Still in the RV last I checked.
And do they know?
Which part? About him?
Well, I guess that makes it. Yes, I suppose this is. I'm gonna sit down and
Yeah.
Did he tell
so,
you? Sorry. By all means, this is your moment.
So, what's happening now then?
Well, do you want to tell her or do you want me to tell her?
Your husband is being promoted because I'm preparing to ascend. I'm going to leave this world. And he's going to take in my place.
We hadn't
His friends are helping
gotten
us.
to that part yet. And he's like looking at her like, I honestly meant to tell you, but I didn't have a chance yet.
Mm-hmm. And ascension means if we're all here for this
I
situation.
will be gone. I will leave this world, presumably forever. As
That's
have
how I
understand
many
it.
before me.
And the many before you are going are where you're headed?
In a manner of speaking, but not in the way that you mean, no. In order to survive, I had to
You're gonna just tell
take
her,
a
huh?
part of themselves. I'm sorry, are we not being honest?
No, it's fine. He
Was
had
it
to
not
take a part
you
of
who
them.
lectured me on honesty outside?
Well, certainly between a
Arthur,
husband
you're
and wife,
taking
for
on a
sure.
leadership role. You get to choose who knows what. Do you want me to tell her?
Yeah, why don't you explain it to her so that she understands it as well as I do?
Very well. There is an element of people that I need to function. Under normal circumstances, it would be provided by their belief, their energy, their devotion. But here, in the world that you know, it doesn't. In order to survive, I, like many of the creatures your husband has attempted to pursue and destroy, take a part of people. What I take leaves them fairly empty, and they quickly die. I have endeavored to use this power sparingly, and while I acknowledge that that may be difficult to digest, I would also say that it is an essential part of all of our survival. Certainly at the moment, as a group of... I'm sorry, what did you piss? The werewolves.
Yep. That is what's after me.
There's at least a dozen monsters, mostly bulletproof, the size of trucks. They want to tear your husband apart, and they don't because I say so. And they listen to me because sometimes I kill people to stay alive. Arthur, how you feel this honesty thing is working out so far?
I think you're doing my job for me, so... I was going to tell all of you this, or tell you this all before he walked in, but he's telling it to you now so you can really understand why I was afraid. I'm not afraid anymore, though. Mostly because if I understand correctly, you need me.
I need an individual of intense faith. Which I wasn't sure was you until just now today.
So you, so you have been killing people.
That's what I learned.
And disguising it as ascension.
Indeed. Jillian and Zephyr were aware of this, which is why they told Arthur, and then he fled.
So you have been lying to all of us.
And therein lies that thing that I said when you asked me why I was mad. This, where she's at now, is where I have been.
I mean, would you prefer that I had been honest? Or would you prefer that I died?
What happens if you die?
What happens when anyone dies? I mean, it might be a little different for me, honestly. I'm not sure. It doesn't happen to my kind very often.
And what is that?
My kind? Oh, deities. To be completely honest, Katy Lynn, you're handling this beautifully. Most people get tossed in on the shallow end of ghosts and vampires. You are in the room with a god within an hour of finding out that all of this is real, and your head hasn't exploded yet, so bravo.
She's incredibly smart.
No, I assume if you are what you say you are, my head would have exploded at your whim. You did self-style yourself as the speaker for a god. I have known I have been in the room with a god for, I assumed, a while.
Yeah, fair enough. I commend your faith.
Yeah, it's an interesting disguise, but I guess it worked.
Good lies are rooted in truth. I'm going to step outside because this is frankly a lot. And I hope everyone is ready for a wonderful dinner, and we are going to have a full discussion with your weird transient RV friends as well, because I don't know what this means anymore. And I'm going to go to the garden.
You take the bottle with you, if you want.
Katie, I'm gonna stalk out of the room, and handle some feelings in a productive manner.
Going to take your feels out on some vegetables, huh?
Yeah.
I understand. We've all been there. Okay. That leaves Arthur and Loki.
Yeah, that was what I didn't want to tell her. Because once you know, you can't unknow. And your life is not the same. And that's
What
thanks
it's
to
worth
you.
Yeah, no, not. I mean, from one perspective, because of me. From another perspective, her life would be fine if you hadn't looked in my tent.
My life would probably be fine if I hadn't looked in your tent.
Yeah. Curiosity kills cats. That said,
I see.
I am glad that you told her. The trope of protecting one's loved ones by keeping them in the dark, I don't approve.
Yeah. I guess that explains the tenets of your religion.
So my religion serves me as it must. If I had to change the tenets to keep myself alive, I would. I don't know what you mean by making fun of them.
Well, it's just that I believed in it for so long and believed in it so strongly, only to discover that, like all of the other religions I thought were out there, all of the other sects and divisions, that they were all false and that this one was true. But it turns out that maybe that one thing that I held to was wrong as well. It's hard to have faith when you recognize that you were wrong.
For what it's worth, you couldn't have known. You know who I am now. You know what I can do without using any of my considerable power. You couldn't have known. I see this sometimes. People think they have the right path, and then at some point they discover that they do not. They discover they've taken a wrong turn and invested themselves in lies and foolishness. They blame themselves. And I say, it's been years. You're older now. You know things you didn't. Don't blame your past self for your mistakes. Just be better. And I'm sorry for what it's worth.
I guess you had to do what you had to do to
Don't
live
we
a
all?
normal life. At least one here where your things were different, the rules were different. Right?
Yes. Indeed. And if I had to feed on blood, I'd have done that. Nobody wants to let go.
Well, I guess we should let the others know that we're about to have dinner together.
I'll go get him. Oh, how'd the boys do?
They did fine. But I'll go get them. How about that?
All right.
While this conversation is happening, and Katy Lynn is out in her garden, Katy Lynn, there are soft footsteps that come up behind you.
I do not think you are in any position right now to interrupt me. I have a hoe.
Good for you.
And
Katy Lynn, the voice behind you is distinctly feminine. And not one that you recognize.
and Katy turns around with not brandishing a garden implement, but definitely holding it.
The woman behind you is stunning in ways that it doesn't seem like it should be possible. Long, kind of honey blonde hair, curves just the right amount and in just the right places. Dressing like something between someone who just stepped out of an executive boardroom and a hippie love child. Mismatched eyes, one blue, one gold. I'm sorry, I was gonna go to the front door and then I heard vegetables being murdered and I thought maybe you could use someone to talk to. Who's not male, because I've never seen a woman take out that kind of anger on a root vegetable over anything but a guy.
Well, if they don't get pulled now, they're going to go. They're going to overpot. Okay, if I was inclined towards jealousy, I would understand at least the particular hunter lifestyle, or whatever Arthur calls this.
Oh, I'm not a hunter, and I'm certainly not here for Arthur. My name's Ophelia. And she'll hold out a hand. You must be Katy Lynn. Liam's told me a lot about you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'll shake her hand. What are you going to? Are you a Freya or something, or who else?
No,
Yeah.
just Ophelia. Not a deity, nothing like that.
And you're here to tell me that everything is going to be fine?
No. Honestly, I came by because I'm supposed to help him ascend. I'm supposed to be part of that whole process. Trust me, based on the look on your face, I'm no happier about it than you are, but he wants to go, and I can't stop him.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure what happens if he stays here and dies here, so it's probably best that we put him back where he belongs.
Ophelia? Is it?
Yeah.
I moved across the country with a person who has multiple compounds, communes, whatever you want to call it, because he is the voice of God. Not a god, the God. And about 10 minutes ago, I have been told that that is not true. And now there is a stranger who is here telling me that I should let whatever is happening now happen.
She'll kind of tilt her head a little bit. I don't remember saying you should let anything happen. I just said what I was here for.
Good point.
Let me ask you a question. Can you prove that there is only one God? That there is the God?
I think that the book does not say there is only one. I think that the book says none before.
That's fair. That book, however, was written after there had been countless religions dedicated to countless gods.
Absolutely understood. And I feel like that particular book also has a fairly firm stance on false idols.
That's fair. Very fair. I can't help but wonder if you have a God that's here and now, a deity who can prove their existence, stand before you, has he ever been cruel to you? Because I'll kick his ass myself if he has. And I can. He'll wear out a lot faster than I will. He's not from here. He has to... It's more taxing for him to keep his energy up than me.
I'm going to pretend I understand what that means. He has been nothing but kind.
He's been nothing but kind. But
I feel lied to. I feel like my whole life is a lie now. And I have been waiting for something that is a lie. And I understand that it is a lie of omission or a bending of the truth. But do you expect me to be okay with that because it is technically correct?
no, I don't expect anything of you.
And I am now supposed to be okay feeling like I have supported and been kind and helpful to a person who has been murdering people.
That is a sticky wicket. I look at it this way. I've seen a lot of crazy and dangerous and scary things in my line of work. And for whatever they'll tell you, the hunters haven't seen half of what they could. Part of that is because there are people who keep them from having to see half of the things that they could be seeing. The other half is because they don't want to. There are deaths that happen every day because humans decide that they should, or because humans decide that they're necessary. I don't necessarily agree with the act of killing anyone. I wish it were something that could be entirely avoided, but it's not. It is unfortunately a fact of life. I can tell you that there was never a life that he took lightly. And that he only did it when he knew that it was that or death for him. And I can't pretend to say that I know what the right answer is in a situation like that. If you were faced with your death, your very real death, and you didn't know what your death would do to the world that you were trapped in, would you take the risk? Because that's a conversation he and I have had. He knows that if he doesn't find a way back to where he belongs, something terrible could happen to the world that he's in right now, which is ours.
What?
We don't know. That's part of the problem. I have scoured every library I have found in this and other worlds. There's no answer to this problem because as far as I could tell, it's never happened before. A deity from another world has never gotten trapped in ours, as far as I can tell. I can tell you that he's not meant to be here.
Or it's not been recorded, and nothing happens.
Possibly, but unlikely. People like me kind of have a habit of writing everything down, whether we should or shouldn't, which is a problem for another day.
And
But
what is people like you?
I am what people call a mage. I'm a human with access to magic. Incidentally, Katy Lynn, as she is sitting here, and you have the smell of the earth and the vegetables around you, you also smell honey and fresh apples. It's like sitting next to somebody who smells like summertime.
And I suppose fairies are real too.
They prefer the term changeling, but yes. And there's multiple types. Between you and me, the pukas are the most fun, but don't tell the others I said that. They get offended.
You cataloging more of whatever this is not helping this situation. I hope you understand. I am
Sorry.
My world is ruined, or at least changed.
Maybe it's just bigger.
And that is fine, but now I have to figure out how I'm going to go through this. And it might be bigger, but what I want right now is my husband and my family. And what I thought I was getting was my husband and my family and a place in a place that was safe with a community that I cared about. And instead I'm getting, I'm being told that I should just be okay with having been lied to by two of the most important people in my life. For a while now.
Can I ask you a question? You keep saying people are telling you that you have to be okay. Who told you you have to be okay? Because, honey, I'll tell you this. There's no being okay. I remember the day my awakening happened. I wasn't okay for, a year? Maybe more? And even then, I still wasn't entirely okay, even the day that the holes in space opened up and the speaker stepped through. I wasn't okay that day either.
And people keep saying these things that are very, very crazy casually. You're right. I don't have to be okay. I would like to be okay. I would like to be able to go inside and finish making dinner for my husband and his weird little friends. Because they seem like decent people, except for apparently we're all okay with what's happening.
I don't think they're okay either. I think they've just gotten to the point where they've found their basic resting pulse. Your world is different. At least it looks different for you. And I guarantee you that for them, none of them were okay when they first found out. Even for people like me, where we were born into this, you're not okay. It takes a long time to get to the point where you start to feel okay. And even then, you don't entirely feel okay, because the more okay you feel, frankly, the less of a hold you have on the world around you, the less serious you are taking it. It's okay to be not okay. I will tell you this. Liam and I talk a lot. I don't agree entirely with his choice to keep his secrets, especially from somebody that he cares about, and he does care about you. He wouldn't talk about you as much as he does if he didn't. I think you might actually be one of the first friends he's ever had in this world. He lets his hair down with you more than he lets his hair down with me. Usually.
You probably intimidate him.
I don't know that you can intimidate a deity. I think it's more that he worries I'm going to use him. Or try to get rid of him.
Isn't that what we're doing then?
No, we're trying to send him home. When I say get rid of, I mean... And she kind of runs a finger across her neck. I'm not interested in killing him. I don't know what happens to our world if a deity from another world dies in it. I don't know.
What happens?
I worry.
What happens if a deity from this world dies in this world?
She kind of shakes her head. We have stories, but most of them don't necessarily die. They kind of go elsewhere. They pass into the dreaming and they fade into memory, or they become something else. Or it turns out that they were never deities in the first place. They were just people that humans thought were deities. And so they worshipped them.
And why would this be any different?
Because he doesn't belong here. Because he doesn't have any foundation or grounding here. He is kind of a vacuum on our world. Imagine a star going out. There's every potential that that's what happens, except that that star goes out and forms a nova, but it's in our backyard. And I don't know that I can contain that. I'm one of the strongest mages I've ever met. There are very few who are stronger than me. That I have found anyway. If they're out there, they're hiding. And I don't think I could contain that.
Compelling.
I want to send him home because I think it is the safest option for everybody. I think he'll be safer where he belongs, and we'll be safer once he's where he belongs. And I have to break my own heart to do it, but I'm gonna do it because it's the best thing for everybody.
How easy is it for them to come back?
I don't think the speaker's coming back, honey. But nobody else is going with him. Unless they choose to walk through that portal. And they have to do it knowing that there's probably no coming back. They'll be stuck on that side.
And
opening up this portal is very difficult. It's going to take a lot out of everybody involved.
I respect your upset knowing you might lose a lover?
Yeah, something like that.
But have you thought of what else happens after he leaves?
You mean to your church?
And everyone?
Well, I know that the church's funds are not inconsiderable. I know that he has made sure that this place is set up with a good safety net to catch it. And I think he was talking about potentially leaving your husband in charge as the next speaker.
No, I know. You know how, when someone says something's too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about... I don't know a lot about other deities. I am disinclined to fully believe that one who has tricked us for so long has all of our best interests at heart. And that's truly what I am struggling with now.
I'm not saying that he isn't self-interested. He's definitely got his own interests in mind with a lot of this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's out to hurt you or the rest of this congregation. The reality is that all of you are the reason why he's survived as long as he has, and why he's only had to kill a handful of people.
We should be so lucky.
The faith that you all exude is its own form of power. It's ambient. It is released by your mere belief, your worship. You don't have to do anything but believe, and that keeps him running 99% of the time. And then he tangles with something big and nasty and dangerous. And he taps himself out. Like werewolves. Like mages.
It does sound stupid when I say it. You do understand that, right?
I do. I get it. In fact, I think there's somebody coming who has probably had this awakening a lot more recently than I have. And probably understands how you're feeling better than I do. I'm trying to be helpful, but I understand that I've been at this for a long time.
Leading with advocacy for Liam is probably not the best move.
It's not about advocacy, honey. It's, at the end of the day, making sure that this world doesn't get fucked up is my priority, because I live here. All my stuff's here. It'd be really inconvenient for something to happen to this world.
Yeah, it would be awful if the home you've built gets fully pulled out from under you because the person who helped you build it is...
Did you build your home for Liam, or did you build your home for your husband? Because your husband's not going anywhere, last I checked.
No, but I don't know that I can stay in this house knowing this.
Knowing what? That a bunch of good people put their blood, sweat, and tears into making you your dream home because he asked them to?
Kind of, yeah. This whole place is built on a lie.
No. It's built on the love you have for the life you wanted to lead, and the family you wanted to raise here. Ah, here she is.
I hope you don't mind me intruding. I've heard vegetables being tormented, and part of my soul died. And I couldn't help but overhear. I'm guessing he let you in on what's going on?
And I assume you're, I don't know, a mermaid.
No, but that would be really cool. I'm just a person. I got a really cool bow. If that counts for anything. And a tattoo that we'll go into later once you've had a day or two to settle in. How are you feeling, by the way? I feel like that should be like a primary question. Like, are you okay? Has anybody asked you if you're okay?
I did.
I'm gonna put down the hoe.
Thank you.
I have a lot of things to work through. It is a nice tattoo. I assume it is also some form of magic at this point, because everything seems to be.
Listen. I know that it's a lot. I know that with the stress of coming and going, and Arthur's kind of kept me up to date on this is, you're just coming into town and you probably don't want to be dealing with all of this stuff right now. It's a lot to take in. And I hope you know that you don't have to feel like you're alone in processing. I am what I am, and I'm still processing so much. I'm not that seniored in the game.
Can I ask you two very blunt questions?
Wow, you got a really nice cat there.
Sorry, Catherine had to be in the scene too.
Yeah.
What are you then? And did you sleep with my husband?
I'll answer that second one first because the first question is a whole lot to break down. I did not sleep with your husband. I am not going to lie to you. Your husband is very special to me. He means a lot to me. And I have been a little bit neglectful as to how your feelings might be because I wasn't expecting to meet you. He's made his love for you, though, so perfectly clear. And when things went down, I don't know how much he told you, but our friend Jillian passed away.
I have been informed.
Just to provide some context, because I don't remember if Clara remembers. Jillian was the speaker's bodyguard. So you would have met her a long time ago, but you would have met her.
And Jillian is dead too. Yeah.
When we were dealing with the repercussions of her dying, one of the first things that your husband asked was for that phone call. And I did everything in my power to make sure that both of you were safe. Partially for the fact that I don't believe that innocent lives should get sucked into all of this, and I still 100% see you as an innocent life. Partially because we then found out later that Zephyr might have put us in a lot of danger.
Rosanna, I could choke on a lima bean tonight. And the reason I don't is because I have learned how to eat food without choking. everyone is making these decisions to keep me safe as if I cannot learn to keep myself safe. Yes, it is a hard pill to swallow. All I want to say 15 of the ones I have been now given. But now that I'm going to work. I have no choice. I'm going to work through it.
Hold on. Whatever he told you right now, whatever 15 pills you need to swallow does not matter. I just want to ask you something. In this very moment, what is it that Katy Lynn wants? What do you want? Do you want to scream? Do you want to cry? Do you want to be alone? Do you want to be with people? Do you want to run away? What do you want?
I don't know. I want. I want.
Honey, it's okay.
I want to be okay with. I want to be okay. I want to be. I want to know what happens next for everyone. And no, it is not just, oh, hey, your husband is now the leader of this organization. It is not that at all.
Well,
because I do not trust someone who has misrepresented themselves in the way that they have to give over everything without some catch. Because there's always a catch now, isn't there?
unfortunately.
Not necessarily.
But in the eyes of a hunter, yes.
As opposed to
Hunters
what?
are frequently wrong. Like all the time wrong.
If Arthur's any indication, of course.
Yeah, your husband really does get some things wrong and does not know how to take care of himself or his mental health.
And he makes terrible coffee, but it doesn't change the fact.
Oh my goodness! The coffee grinds are in the bottom of the cup all the time. Did you know that he doesn't know the difference between meat and cereal?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, him and I went grocery shopping a couple days back because we needed food. And, you know, he took out like a thing of like hamburger meat and he was like, these are Cheerios. And I was like, oh God, okay.
Were you wearing a shirt like you're wearing now?
I don't remember. I barely remember what I had for dinner last night.
Because, honey, I'm mostly straight, and I would get distracted and forget if it was meat or cereal on the list.
I do it for myself and not for anybody else.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying it's a lovely view.
And Arthur is Arthur.
Can I ask you something?
Everyone has.
Well, with everything going on, and with you not being sure, with none of us really being sure what happens next, because I'll be honest with you, my experience with this is you gotta take it day by day. No day is going to be like the previous. What step do you want to happen next?
I am currently sorting through some uncharitable thoughts.
You want to talk about it? And she's gonna find a patch of grass and kind of pat the area next to her. Huh. If we're gonna be talking, might as well get comfortable.
And she'll sit down next to Rosanna. Well, the first uncharitable thought is wondering if Arthur and Liam would make great fertilizer for the vegetable garden. And apparently now I can't use Liam as fertilizer.
I'd be willing to give on Arthur, though.
No. He's... Arthur is Arthur, but he is my Arthur. To an extent. At least I am pretty sure still.
Yeah. He is still your Arthur.
I just don't think I knew what my Arthur actually was. The same with the speaker. So right now, I kind of just want to have a nice dinner with friends and meet the weird people who apparently hunt monsters in an RV together and actually spend time with my husband's friends while I figure out what the loss of while I decide what she wants to do, and I guess what you all want to do, means for my life and the life I planned.
Well, let me start by saying that right now all that matters is what Katy Lynn wants. And I'm meaning that sincerely, honey. It's not fair to you. You didn't ask for any of this, and I know.
I did. I actually did. I didn't know what I was asking for, but I did. Let me be very clear about that. I am not upset that that this is all now about fairies and I don't know, goblins or ghosts
I don't
or
know what ghosts exist. I don't know if goblins do.
aliens or whatever. I am not upset about that.
Mhm.
I'm not. Because I asked my husband for the truth and he gave it to me.
Okay.
And that I am willing to take on.
Okay.
Yes, I am still processing it because it sounds crazy. You do understand that.
When I first was awoken to the world around me, I will be honest with you. Nobody knows this. I went to go get myself checked in because I thought I was going crazy. I had nobody to walk me through everything. I had to process it completely by myself, and it's harder. Not to say that it's not hard now, but it's difficult when you're alone.
I understand it. I would never compare.
But you do have a support system that are more than happy to help you. I have a peace offering for you because I think that, especially now with everything being kind of the way that it is, you might benefit from this. and she's going to just take out a little thing of strawberry creams and pop open the bag and offer one over to her. Whenever I'm thinking really hard about things, these help clear my mind, and they bring me, I call them sunshine and a hard candy. Try one.
Sure. And yeah, I'll take the candy. It's fine.
Katy Lynn, it tastes like springtime. It's peaceful and like being in a field full of wildflowers with the sun hitting your face. And for everything else that's going on, for at least a few moments, you feel slightly more, I don't want to say happy, but slightly more at ease than you were before.
What they forget to mention when they word vomit at you is that it's not all bad.
Nope. Out of curiosity, what was your awakening, Rosanna?
Coming up a year next month.
No, what? Not when.
What? I started seeing visions.
Yeah, that makes sense. I blew up half of an abandoned house. By accident. I didn't do it on purpose. And she puts up her hands. Swear I didn't. I thought I was messing around with a game book.
I've been at this for a year, and there are some things, Katy Lynn, that stress me out like that. That stresses that is why I am the way that I am today.
Listen. I've had almost 40 years of experience. I have not almost accidentally blown up anything in a very long time. Katy Lynn, she looks like she's in her 20s. There's no way this woman is 40 plus.
Yeah, but there are little dosage and bits of magic in everyday life. I mean, not all of it is gonna jump out and bite your neck or drain you dry or whatever. And
nope.
And I think that that's what I care about Arthur, and I have a lot of love for him, but he only sees the negative in every situation, and I feel like you deserve both sides.
I think dinner's probably just about ready. And as much as I adore sitting and chatting with you two, pretty sure this is the last evening I get with the closest thing I've ever had to a boyfriend. So we should all go inside. You should spend time with your husband's friends. I will whisk Liam away at an appropriate moment so that he is out of your hair and you don't have to worry about that breathing down your neck.
You mind if I just talk to her alone for a minute?
Okay.
Now that you don't... Mm-hmm.
To Ophelia, make him work for a little bit. He is being far too smug.
Well, he always has to work for it. She kind of gives you a little grin, does that little move that Megara and Hercules does where she kind of like salutes you, like with one hip cocked out to the side, and then she walks inside. And all you hear is, "Oh, Liam," as the screen door slams shut behind her.
Now, I want you to use these next couple of minutes, and if you have any questions from a perspective of somebody who, all things considered, is just a person who's not your husband, who's not a man, who's not a major, I don't know, demon or werewolf or pixie. Do you have anything that, you know?
What do you mean?
You said that you had some uncharitable thoughts. I figured that laundry list wasn't quite done. And, I know that that I was kind of a jerk when we first met. I'd gone through something fairly traumatic, and I wasn't in a good headspace when you and I first met, and I want to apologize. And I want to start on the right foot, if you would allow it.
I appreciate and accept your apology. I have been waiting for someone who comes to me, who has been, first of all, delaying being with me for a while. And he comes in with
Yeah.
And I have been having the same argument in my head for a week now. Because I am his first wife, and he has been running around the country with 3 women, 3 very attractive women. And I have, and lying to me, to be quite honest, he's not a great liar, and lies by omission are still lies.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to look at those people walking into your home that, again, you have made to have a life with this person and assume that everything is fine. Mm-hmm. And I do respect that you have kept boundaries with Arthur. He could have just asked. And instead I was, again, glibly assaulted with 3 people who I had never met before and were keeping my husband from me by a person, again, I will remind you, has been my friend and been lying to me as well now.
You don't deserve that.
So yes, I have been feeling uncharitable. I am not, however, mad at you, because in the end, Arthur is going to do what Arthur is going to do, and he has control over his actions. And if he had not told you I existed, then that would have been a problem, but it would not have been your problem. I worried that I was not enough for him.
Now. And Rosanna's just gonna turn and kind of like gently lay her hand on top of like Katy Lynn's and take them. You are enough. And if your husband is a damn fool to not see the life that you are trying to make for not just him, but for your own, honey, that house is gorgeous. That garden, that's superb. I see the love and the care that you put, and I see the way that you look at him, and I see the way that he looks at you. Don't ever say that you are not enough. Because you are. And if he ever makes you feel like you are less than enough, he's kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Listen. You are the master of your own destiny. You are the master of the choices that you make. And every choice, and I've told your husband this time and time again, your choices and the actions that you make, they will have a consequence no matter what. That does not mean that you don't hold the right to make decisions that are right for you.
Only if I have all of the information.
You need to have all of the information.
I do now. Listen, I do appreciate that you have come to me and are trying to help me through this. I think what I need is time.
Of course. Here. If you ever need me for anything, even if you just need a friend or somebody to talk to, somebody who gets it a little bit more, here's my number. My personal number, not even the crap that I give men at bars. You call me if you ever need, like, a girlfriend to talk to. Because I really do mean it. Like, you live up to all of the hype and more that Arthur's, like, spouted at me about you, and I would really love to be your friend.
I would like to be friends. I do think I'm just going to need a little bit of time.
No. Take all the time that you need, honey.
But I am not opposed to dinner and conversation with everyone. We'll see how it goes from there.
All right. Let's get our asses off this grass, and let's go get some dinner.
Okay. As the two of them wander inside, Ophelia is inside and is kind of like standing next to the speaker and sort of like leaning against him. And she's got her arms crossed over her chest and she's eyeing Arthur. You know, I just don't get it.
Which part? The hair, the collar, the attitude.
How are they tied up in knots over him?
Well, to be fair, I set the two of them up. I mean,
that's fair. I hadn't thought about that.
True, the Countess's weakness, seeing that she's smart.
He is smart. And pretty. You're very lucky. She's looking at Arthur.
Oh, I know. I never doubted that a single day of my life.
And not just because you're still alive after all the things you've seen.
Oh, I was explicitly talking about having two beautiful women pining for you, but you know.
Oh, I was talking about Katy Lynn.
Right. Of course. Very lucky.
Isobel, Piper.
Yeah,
Good to see you both again.
you as well.
Oh. Somebody's got a whole new look, and she's looking over Isobel. Interesting. Did we meet with the bestower of that particular gift?
Yes, we did. Came to a deal that I think worked for both of us.
I see.
Deal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you not terminate the problem?
No.
Why not?
Because it would have caused more problems if we did.
There's that, and
They knew you were involved. It would have come down on.
I suppose I would have
And-
lied, said it was unrelated.
I see a bit of I would be lying if I said I didn't want to talk to Vincent more. Curiosity
Hey, anyone who can weave a curse like that is worth talking to.
and academics' curiosity. Look, there's so very little study done on things like this. I would like to understand it a little better. Kind of only half a lie, but
By all means. If that's what you want to do, it won't be my problem anymore.
No, it'll just be our problem.
Maybe you've created another one, maybe you haven't. I don't care.
All right. Well, as stimulating as this conversation is, in the morning, we have to start preparing. Piper, you don't strike me as a morning person, but I'm gonna need you up bright and early.
Oh, you think I sleep?
Yeah, I'm not
I know
entirely sure
that-
Piper sleeps.
I know that you sleep. It might not be often, but I know you sleep.
Yeah, no, I can be.
Okay. You know, Isobel, your glam up might actually be even better for what you needed to do.
I'm still honestly a little unsure of what I needed to do.
You stand on the precipice between life and death now. I mean, you did before, but more so now.
That to be of service.
There is no greater balancing act or natural cycle than life and death. That sort of balance is exactly what we need to keep from, imploding or something.
Is that what we're risking right now? Just to be clear on what is going to happen.
You wanna be clear
That's
on
what
the
I'm
risk?
risking.
Hmm.
But we're risking worse by not putting him back where he belongs.
I can agree with that.
You see, you think you're smart, but you really don't know what you're talking about 90% of the time. You make your cute little quips.
He just wants me gone for personal reasons.
Yes, he wants you gone so that you don't kill any individual mortals anymore. But what he doesn't realize is that we have the very real possibility that you dying in our world creates something of a magical black hole in our world. And you don't want to see the kind of devastation that can wreak.
No, it would
definitely doesn't
negatively
sound
impact
good.
you, dear.
I don't think we'd be around to see the devastation that leaks.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of you might, especially you, Piper.
Forgot about
You
that
all would
part.
have the unfortunate reality of having to sit and watch what happens to a world when all of the magic in it gets sucked into nothing. It's not pretty. As somebody who has visited other worlds, it's not pretty.
The good news is, with a combination of faith, death and a little bit of dreaming, we should be able to make sure it doesn't happen.
And a whole lot of stability and amplification thanks to Piper and her nifty little gadgets.
And more than our fair share of luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was able to make some improvements to the plans you gave me.
Good.
So it should work better.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, in the morning, we'll get those slapped together and you can run your initial tests to make sure that everything is tuned to my energies.
All right.
I want to put something out there to all of you as a thought. There are a lot of big emotions at this table right now. And that's all well and good, and I understand that a lot of that can't be controlled. But you need to figure out how to lock it down by tomorrow morning. Because if you go into this angry at each other, unbalanced towards each other, thinking too hard about somebody else in this equation and not about the task at hand, she'll kind of shrug a little bit. There's no amount of control Piper can loan us, no amount of energy I can put through myself as the catalyst for this spell. That'll save any of us. I greatly enjoy being alive and would like to stay that way. And I would like our world to stay that way. So
I think we're on the same page with that.
are we?
Indeed.
And she'll look over at Arthur. Because I'm not convinced.
I think we
Can
all
you not be
agree.
pissed at me long enough to keep the world from dying?
I can not be pissed at you long enough to keep the world from dying.
Delightful.
That wasn't very convincing.
I can. It will take every part of my willpower, but I will do it to save the world.
Very good.
Okay. Now, as pleasant and adorable, and she'll look over at Rosanna and Katy Lynn, as all of you are, I'm going to take this man elsewhere. Because if I'm going to put my life on the line, I'm going to get one more night. And she kind of reaches over and grabs Loki by the lapel and starts tugging him out of his chair.
I follow, and as we get to stairs, I'm like, Miss Piper's caught my eye a little bit. Should we invite her?
I don't think she swings your way, dear. And you have a hard enough time keeping up with me.
I mean, I could change forms. I've done it before. I'm fine.
Now,
And-
was this set close enough to the kitchen that Piper overheard, or was it after?
Yes, you absolutely overheard. And
Okay.
Ophelia kind of gives you a wicked grin and a little wink right before they disappear out the front door.
Anyway,
There are so many comments that could be made about that. I'm gonna keep them to myself for everybody's sake.
I guess I should have asked this when the wizard thing person
Mage.
when she was here. Is this dangerous? This is dangerous, yes.
Yeah.
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 Pretty much everything we do is dangerous.
All right, I'm getting that idea. And are you doing this in the house?
Oh,
Oh, God, no.
No, 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 no.
Oh, no.
I mean,
not this house. No.
we're not doing it in anybody's house, Arthur.
No.
Yeah,
We're-
out of character, not in any house. You guys are going to be out in
no.
the open in like a field.
Yeah, we're doing this like out in the
Because-
swamp.
Let me tell you, the part that I'm contributing alone would be too much for a house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I guess I ask that if you care to do magic, you don't do it in the house.
I will also say that if we have any last minute things, items, weapons we might need, let me know, because my contact said she would get them for us.
Piper could probably use some access to extra tech things.
Give me a list. I'll send the message over and see how quickly we can get them.
I could use some. I need some stones and some herbs. That's all I really need.
What kind of herbs do you need?
Well,
I'm gonna assume it's not the spices needed to make a chicken taste really good.
well, I mean,
Honestly, a fair number of them are probably ones that get used in cooking.
yeah. So I mean, to be fair, lavender's good for is really good for protection. Rosemary is really good for protection. Some sage. Yeah.
There's help yourself to the garden. It's fine.
Thanks.
We have some eggs.
In general,
Yes.
or
I
for
heard, I
this.
heard there were.
Eggs?
Yeah,
Unrelated to what we're talking about right now.
okay, I've been trying. I'm trying again. This is a new thing that I'm dealing with, and chickens. Yes.
Awesome.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm the one that keeps these chuckle fucks alive most of the time, at least from eating.
That's true.
Real talk.
yes.
Real talk. I need everybody to make me wits awareness, please.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Fantastic.
I just need to know who is the most perceptive. That's all. Holy shit! Probably Arthur.
It ain't. me.
Question.
Legacy.
Question.
That's my husband's ex. Not really.
The boys
chicken?
aren't here, right?
No, the boys are not
Okay.
here at the moment.
I'll fill them in on stuff later then. Now that I've got a
Yeah,
little bit better.
I figured Isobel and Rosanna would fill them in on the details. Rosanna, you are sitting there and you're kind of like listing off herbs and spices and whatnot. And as you are sitting there and talking, you look over and realize that there is a heavy book, leather bound, sitting at the spot where Loki was sitting earlier.
How far away is it?
It's within reach.
I'm just gonna slide it over into my lap. And as they're talking about chickens and hens and X's and stuff, she's just gonna nod along. Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds great. And she's gonna open the book.
Let me describe it before you decide whether or not you want to open it.
Okay.
So this is a heavy white leather book with gold gilding at parts of the bottom and a large gold sun on the cover. And on the spine of the book is the name The Darksome Anatomies.
She's gonna move it to her bag and close it.
Okay.
And then go about her business.
So, I think that just to be clear, everyone, I think it's just a nice casual dinner where we maybe don't talk about the things we normally talk about.
What do you
that I
normally
normally talk about?
Mhm.
Monsters.
I do
we-
want to hear about it.
Oh,
Are you sure?
Yeah, because like we get it. Like yeah, like I said, like when we were outside talking, like New World, everything. Kind of our one night off. If you want to talk about it, we can.
I mean,
No, it's fine. Take your night off.
I don't have any
Oh,
problem with stories.
yeah. I mean, we
As
can
long as we're not
talk and shop.
yeah, as long as we're not talking about what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Because yeah, there's enough pressure as it is, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know? Or what do you want to hear about?
I don't know. Just something. Something you that keeps you going here.
well, I mean, honestly, for me, it's you.
I throw a lima bean at Arthur.
I deserve that.
Absolutely, you do.
No, I've got a partner back in California.
I have somebody who is in a bad situation, and if maybe I can help them, maybe I can learn enough to help them.
I don't have anybody to go home to.
Yeah. But I feel like you
It's
are the
not
one
a
that keeps
matter of-
us alive.
Having somebody to go home to, but something you're fighting for.
What makes this worth it?
I lost the only person, or I thought I lost the only person that mattered to me. And unfortunately, she is alive and wants me dead. So I'm in this strictly to survive.
I can hope to help someone, or at least get someone to understand what happened, move forward from there.
The lives that we all lead, the reasons that we get up every morning and do what we do, that's the grounds of what makes us who we are. And that's what you gotta decide when you get into the fight. What's keeping you alive today?
Why do you
Who's
wake up?
keeping-
What are you fighting for? Why do you do this instead of forgetting all about it? And going home, living a normal life.
Yeah.
There has to be something more than that, though, because animals live day to day, and we're not that. I'm hoping there's a plan for what comes after.
I hope.
Most of us don't live long enough.
Yeah. We definitely do
point
have
in
very short lives.
planning for a future that's not going to happen.
Sometimes you have to be reminded to not take for granted what's right in front of you, because you don't know if you're ever going to have it again.
And on that note, we're going to call it for the evening. Thank you for joining us, everyone.